semua orang Indonesia kan. So then there's a real powering of that one. Maybe that's not such a bad thing, that there's not a lot of grandstanding about the national identity. I don't think Indonesia is an amalgam of many different nations that have existed for a very long time. It's different from the US. The US is funny because so you were talking about the similarity in the Declaration of Independence. There's also a similarity in the national motto, right? So you've got Bino on that thing, you've got and you've got there's a unity and diversity, and then a pluribus unum, which is essentially, but there's a subtle difference between the two, which is that in the US, essentially, people, with the exception of those Native Americans who were not exterminated, it was essentially a nation created of, yes, it was different ethnic groups, but who came to the state to be part of that project. And then so it wasn't that we had a project that had an identity and people chose to come and ignore that. It was that everyone already had their identity, so they chose to impose it on them to become stronger and stronger. And then what you're finding all over Indonesia, every couple by then will have now a 4-day or a 5-day Ramadan, sometimes longer, every year, which is a celebration of the culture of the place. And so sometimes it's a very dignified, maybe even afterwards you'll get chicken rice. Further back you'll get a glass, and there'll be, and then the police will come shuffling in and make sure that it's okay, and then the bupati will come, and then there'll be the upacara will have this certain, and in fact in the electronic version there's a little, and you can find it on my website as well, a little video about that in Weda and Halmahera of it could be anywhere in Indonesia anytime over the last 30 years. It's actually quite Orde Baru in a way. You think, wow, one of the things that is holding Indonesia together is actually an administrative and a bureaucratic template that goes very deep and is very habitual. And I know that you want an answer that's more inspiring than that. But actually, I think the things that keep the country together are these commonalities of rather mundane things.
I suppose my question, following up on the previous ones, is what do you feel the main driver towards
I do think that there are some homogenizing factors besides Italy and Cinetron, although Cinetron is a very, very, very important homogenizing factor. It's serious, not necessarily in a good way, because, you know, it's really interesting that the other, as in the outer island, people perceive, we talked much earlier about Jakarta and how it's perceived and, you know, the links with Jakarta. The principal way Jakarta is perceived, other than the political story, which people understand very well, the principal way Jakarta is perceived is through the Cinetron. Jakarta is full of rich people with air-conditioned cars who are always slamming those car doors and tottering off on high heels, you know, to go and sling ball with someone, you know. So basically, that's Jakarta.
Bali modern, no. I mean, they are all part of our national identity. But there are key common elements. You know, empathy for people who are different, respect for difference, and tolerance. I mean, of course, a lot of it is still very messy, but that is the measurement. It's not like, you know, standard measurement.
It promotes the sort of diversity to create a sense of unity. I think many of us will remember, you know, how we used to fight on the roadsides, or every school classroom would have those lovely posters of the 27th tourist Indonesia or the 27th Ariane, essentially one for every province. And that was always very sweet. And, you know, you went to a museum, the provincial museum, it would be basically exactly the same sort of layout in every province. You know, it starts off with sort of Greek history, 2,000, 5,000 years ago, then it would go on to something in the 1860s, and a picture of Sukarno visiting in the 1950s. But today, this is a country that's not an isolation. It is what it is. It's a unity. People in ways to we've got Habibie, we've got the Selatan, we've got Skits, and some of the other symbols of life. Not mention the other things that are really important here. The photos of Britain as the vice president, we see in the government office, in every school, in every university, in many homes, in many businesses. That's not a really important symbol.
Come here, the center holds discussions like this quite regularly. If you want to jot down dates, the next big event that we'll have, and we'll have a comment between as well.
Got